The only thing that the devil has got to offer people in this realm is money, fame, riches and status. And it seems to work. Hello all you gorgeous nymphs and nymphettes, how are you doing? Today I am talking about a bit more of information that the Jesus energy gave me about them, saying that we have returned, they have returned, and what that means for us. And also I'm going to talk about the up and coming new world, whatever that is. What will happen to those of us who've got businesses and who live from the income? What's going to happen? What will happen? I had to ask them, and I'll share it all with you on the other side. So maybe some of you will recall that I had a message from the Jesus energy, and they just whispered in my ear and they said, "We have returned. You can tell them." And that's what they said. I said it 3 times, and I didn't have time to go into the details with them. But it was just like so impactful, and lots of people have reported back saying that that message was very impactful for them. So thank you for that. But I wanted to find out a bit more about what they were meaning. And, you know, I don't talk to the Jesus energy a lot. I talk to the emissaries because that's the main job that I've got. But every now and again, I want to talk to the Jesus energy. And it's always a slightly different energy. It's got a different feel to it. And they talk to me differently. So I said to them, "You said, we have returned, and you can tell them." And I said, "What do you want me to tell them?" And they said, "You can just say, let them know that they're going to start to notice that everything is going to change. They're going to start to notice that they're not going to feel so alone anymore. That they're going to start to feel lots of shifts." They said, "We understand that there's going to be a lot of shifts that appear to be negative as well." But they said at the same time, there are going to be lots and lots of positive shifts. And people are going to feel supported for the first time in a long time. And so they said, all we suggest to people is that they start looking for good. And they said, keep your eyes on the prize. That's what they said. That was their last bit. Tell everybody just to keep their eyes on the prize. Look for the good and you'll find it, because there's plenty, and there's going to be plenty more. So that's nice. And so let's get down to business. Yes, business. Business and the new world. Business and the golden age. Do they even go together? So I've got an online business. With my wife, we teach Spanish. I also do therapy and stuff like that. But primarily, all of our income comes from our Spanish business. And so I said to the emissaries, what happens when everything shifts? You know, am I going to be able to support my family? Am I going to be able to put food on the table? What's going to happen? And they said, firstly, let us say, these were their words, let us say that these changes that are going to happen are not overnight changes. They are changes that take a long while to implement. They said, if you think about when we were telling you about the Great Awakening, you know, 6 years have passed since they started talking to me about it. And we're just, you know, we're still in that process. So they said, don't think that it's just going to be like, bam, the next day, all the financial systems collapsed and everything. So that's not the way that is going to be. And they said this, and worry not, nobody will be left in the lurch. There will be ample possibilities for everybody to be able to support themselves and the family. They said that wouldn't make any sense for that to be in the plan. Of course, you know, everybody always has problems. This is not, I'm got a panacea for wonderfulness on this realm. But they said, in general, it's all going to, you know, have its steps that are going to be put in place that's going to help us to be able to get through whatever we have to get through. But then they made me, and they've talked about this before, but they got into a little bit of detail. Because, you know, they've talked about, and a long time ago, they said, the way forward is community. We're going to start to live much more community-based. And lots of people are doing work on community. Everything's about community, really. All of the projects I see are very community-based. And what they started to say, there will be many systems that will come and fall, that will be tried out and won't work. But they said there will be others that will come and they'll stay. And what they started to say to me, and this was funny, because they said, in community, what will happen is that communities will start to provide services for other communities. And those communities will either return the equivalent in other services, or they'll give them credits, right? My little ears are pricking up. And they said, so they'll, somebody who's doing a service, a group, will do the service and they will receive credits. And then those credits will be able to be used elsewhere to buy other services. So it's like a promissory note. And I've said this before, but it's like a promissory note. X amount of effort, however that's measured, and I have no idea how that would be measured. And I said, yeah, wait a minute though. What would be different? People would just be inventing, just be faking credits. They'd be like just printing them out. I've got a load of credits. And the emissary said, why would that ever happen? When everybody is living to the golden rule of do no harm and treating your brother and your sister as you would want them to treat you, they said nobody would ever fake credits or pretend that they've got them. They said the only thing is, if somebody wanted more credits, they would go and do more services for people. That's all. And I thought, do you know what? I've been in fucking 3D for too long. My mind just goes, oh, they'll just be fiddling it. They'll fiddle it. Corruption. No, that's this realm, not the one that we're going to. That one's going to be a lot better. And really, I know we've talked about this before, but it bears talking about again. In a world where everybody is working from the basis of do no harm, only do good. I mean, even that, I think do no harm is actually the wrong way to talk about it, because you're focusing on harm. Do only good. Imagine everybody working on that principle. Do only good. It's an obligation that whatever you do, it's got to be good. That doesn't mean that you can't make mistakes. Of course, we're not talking about that. We're talking about the intention of doing only good. Holy cow, will that be beautiful? And I said to them, well, I'm in this community and doing services and getting credits and all of that. I said, it sounds like communism. And they said, well, perhaps, but it's community where you do only good. And I said, so it's got nothing to do with what you've seen. I mean, I suppose the principle of communism, which is all of us are equal, and we all just get on and live together, it's not that bad. But in practice, it's a pile of shit. It doesn't work. Why? Because everybody's equal and some people are more equal. 4 legs good, 2 legs better. That's the problem. In this realm, anything that's equanimical, anything that's balanced, that's good, just doesn't work, because this is a shit realm and it's run by a shit group of horrible, nasty, bad energies who want the very worst for everybody. This is a realm in which we live, in which power, money, status and fame are the only things that seem to motivate people to do bad. The only thing that the devil has got to offer people in this realm is money, fame, riches and status. And it seems to work. It seems to work with a lot of people. It still works. He tried it on Jesus back then after his 40 days of fasting. He tried, I'll give you all of this. Just do one act of worship to me. I'll give you the lot. And Jesus, even though he was probably really, really hungry, he said no. But that's all he's got to offer. Imagine being in a new world where what people have got to offer is good, where everybody you have an interaction with, you go in with absolute confidence, knowing that that person is going to do good to you, and you in return are going to do good to that person. Can you imagine living in that world? It's awesome. It's something that part of me can't even go there in my feelings. It's too scary. It's too scary, because if I went there, then I would have to feel what it was like, and then when I came back, I would miss it. And so I just kind of dip in and go, oh yes, that would be really nice. However, this is where we are. We're in 3D. Let's be real about it. So there you are. That's going forward. That's the kind of life that we could have. We don't need to worry about not having income or whatever. If you're in a community, the community takes care of you and you take care of the community. That's the idea. One for all and all for one. Who used to say that? The Three Musketeers? So tell me in the comments, do you think that the emissaries are right? Do you think that community rule would work if everybody was working to the rule, the golden rule, which we're going to change now, of do only good? Yeah, who did the do no harm? It was Hippocrates, wasn't it? The Hippocratic Oath, do no harm. And here am I changing his rule to do only good. I don't give a shit. I think it's a better idea. Do only good. Yeah, and we could start by doing that now. And I think most of us are. I don't think anybody who's watching this video would go out on purpose to harm people anymore. So this is the change that's going to make the change that we're waiting for. Is for all of us to be in that mindset of let's do only good. Let's get ahead of the game. I love you all, and I'll speak to you all later.